What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm so excited for today's video, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right on in. As you guys can see by the title and thumbnail, we have a new project that I am announcing to the channel today, and I'm very excited. It's something very different than I've ever done or built or worked on before. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to have a new chassis to play around with. As you all can see, I have a C5 Corvette as the next project build for me, the channel, the socials, all of the good stuff. And I'm very excited to show you the ins and outs of it before I even really get started with any maintenance or any upgrades to this car. So I got the C5 for a wicked crazy deal. As a lot of you know, car prices kind of just skyrocketed. Cars in general have gotten very expensive. And I got this for $7 grand about 8 months ago. That's right, $7 grand, and everything works on it. It definitely has a few issues, which I'll show you, but the main stuff that I wanted, like the engine, transmission, like the bare foundations were perfect. So it was perfect for me and a perfect candidate to be the next drift car. So I plan on building the Corvette to be a higher horsepower, a bit more gnarly drift car than the BMW. I really do enjoy the BMW, but I really wanted something different, a bit more powerful. Everybody has LSs, and the Corvettes are really starting to make their way into the drift community and really become a new staple, instead of the traditional JDM or BMWs that get drifted often. So I'm excited to have a new chassis to learn on, and I'm excited to have something that's making its way into the drift community and completely different than anything I've ever owned or worked on before. I have a lot in store for the C5. I have a lot of really big plans that I want to do with the C5 Corvette, but for right now, my goals are to get it reliable and to get it sliding and to get a lot more seat time in this car and slowly start building it into some of the other plans and projects that I have in store for it. So when I bought this car, I bought it in Oklahoma, drove it from Oklahoma to Minnesota, did a Nitro Rally Cross event, drove from Minnesota to Virginia, then from Virginia drove to Florida because I was originally going to be building it with my buddy Patrick down at Conquer Customs to do a wonderful project with it, but that ended up falling through, and it is now here in Utah. So the Corvette has been around America a few times, but she's here in Utah, and I'm so excited to finally get this build started. As you can see, actually we got some fresh meat, wheels, and tires on here. When I bought the Corvette, I swear that somebody had run over a curb on the driver's side. Both the front and rear driver's side wheels were bent. It was so bad. I had to buy new tires on the way home to Virginia from Oklahoma. We have these gorgeous Kansai wheels on here, wrapped with BF Goodrich rubber, and so far it's been a lot better already. So just looking at it, it's actually fairly clean. It's pretty dirty. I need to really clean it. But as you can see, there's this huge crack that kind of goes down the fender, the side skirt. Like I said, I'm pretty sure someone hit and went over a curb on the driver's side. Like both the wheels when I got it were bent, hence the new Kansais with BF Goodrich tires on them. As you can see, not even all the lug nuts are the same because when I got it, it didn't even have all of the lug nuts on this car. Other body damage, look, it's already drift ready. Did a couple wall taps, drift ready, here we go. Another issue is that the trunk will not pop open at all. There's no way for me to open this thing. It won't really open. As we get in here, yep, I need pillows for this Corvette because just the seats are busted. They're broken. They're really, really, really broken. And the electric stuff is broken, so it won't move forward. So I need to put pillows back here to just so I can reach the steering wheel properly and the pedals. But luckily we already have some seats coming in, and we have seat brackets. So what I might end up doing is just swapping one of the BMW seats, the passenger BMW seat, into the Corvette, at least temporarily, so I can drive it without having to use pillows and blankets. This is the dash. Yeah, she's real beat up. We're missing some knobs here, and all of this is destroyed. We got some random shifter with a crown with a Crown Royal bag as a shifter boot, some cardboard. Yeah, a bunch of random stuff. And the worst is that when it gets really hot in here, you can definitely tell this car has been smoked in. And I did not know that. Another couple of issues with the Corvette that I've been driving with it is that one, the temperature fluctuates ridiculously. It goes from 220 to 235, 220, 235. And it has an external fan that just turns on. Right here. You can hear it. But even with this fan on, the temperature will still fluctuate from 220 to 235. So that will be fun to deal with. Another thing that I've noticed with the Corvette is that I think the computer or something or some wires are messed up. Sometimes when I turn it on, all of the check engine light codes are on, the traction control is on, like everything turns on. I'm like, ah, but then other times it'll totally be fine. So I'm gonna have to dive deeper into that to really figure out what's wrong, whether it's the computer or if there's actually some issues with it. Another issue. Only one headlight comes on. Only one headlight. Sometimes though, if I'm lucky, that both will come up. Yay, this is gonna be fun. Now to get to the fun stuff. LS things. We have all of the V's in this car. So while driving the Corvette basically cross country and back again, I've noticed a couple other things. Some of the pulleys are making noises. I know the harmonic balancer is out, so that's another thing that's gonna be added to the list. I'm gonna kind of go through and do all of the basic maintenance stuff. I'm gonna get new spark plugs, change the oil, get new air filters, like do your really basic maintenance stuff and kind of start from there and slowly kind of fix the Corvette and get it to a reliable state and then start sliding it. It also has a terrible exhaust leak. When you drive this car for a long time, you end up leaving the car smelling like exhaust fumes and a little lightheaded. Just a little. Probably one of the worst things on this car, by the way. And I drove it cross country like this. You hear that? One of the strut bolts has broken off. And it's been riding around with only one strut bolt really holding the strut in. So I have a bunch of car parts So we have a bunch of car parts to unbox. But first of all, I would love to announce that I've actually partnered with Holly on the Corvette build. Woo! Thank you. I'm so excited to be partnered with Holly on this build. They have everything that I would need for this Corvette, whether it is, first off, valve cover gaskets, head gaskets, LS hard line steam kit, atomic force throttle body. This is 103 millimeters. I'm actually very excited to get this installed. We have an intake on the way also. I'm such a weirdo. Again, I don't know why anybody hangs out with me. We also have MSD coil packs. With coil packs, we also have spark plug wires. And of course, we have enough spark plugs to replace all of them on the Corvette. I know this Corvette's gonna need a lot of maintenance. So not only does Holly have all of the maintenance items that I need for this car, but so many performance options and upgrades available for the C5. So it's just great that I have one place to go to get all the parts that I really need. I do have a few more items coming. They're just not here yet. So I'll just have to save another unboxing for another day. And we got lots of just filler. This is all filler. Actually, while we wait for Brandon, oh wait, Brandon's calling me now. Hold on. Here's, boys and girls, the bolt up there is broken off. It's been hanging on with one bolt this whole time. Brandon says we need to probably take off this upper control arm to have enough space to get to that. Bolt extraction stuff is not really any fun. Can confirm.
0.
And this was the other bolt holding the strut in. You can see the threads are flattened down.
And bent.
And bent.
It's a good time.
Perfect. Yay, Corvette things. Looks like it's trying. Oh.
Broke. He broke.
Uh-oh.
I wouldn't throw that out.
No. That sucks. How'd that happen? Must really be in there. So we ended up having to drill a hole at the trunk here so that we could get access to the bolt that's actually broken, because we broke now 2 bits. Try to get this thing out. It looks like we're right about there with the vice grips. Yeah. Freedom! This thing is such a pain in the butt. So as you can see, we finally have the Corvette on the ground. We were able to successfully get the bolt that was broken off and seized in the strut tower, whatever, out. I'm really happy about that. We got the new ones in because I had purchased new bolts before I even got started on this project. The only thing that sucks is that we did have to drill a hole in my trunk, but I think I'm gonna need that hole anyway for access to the adjustments for when I get my Fortunato coilovers on this car. And yeah, it's not the best hole, but you can see we got our new pieces in there. There's a little bit of fiberglass I'm gonna go ahead and clean up in here. But yeah, I'm very excited that that is now fixed. It was one of the first things I really wanted to get fixed because I couldn't even really safely drive the car unless that was fixed. Perfect, so now that that bolt is taken care of, fixed, I did notice that while I was working on the Corvette, trying to get that bolt out of the top hat. Thank you, Brandon, by the way, for coming out and helping me with that. E40 Customs, shout out to you. You the MVP here. But I'm super happy to have that fixed. It was the #1 thing to have fixed on my list. I just didn't feel very comfortable having that top hat be so loose and only being held on by 1 bolt. I think the fact that it was on leaf springs and had a lot of compression on it really saved it, and I drove from Virginia to Florida like that. But now that that bolt is fixed, we can go ahead and move on to the next project of the C5, which will be more maintenance. Yay! We got new spark plugs, spark plug wires, and a bunch of new coil packs from MSD, which were ordered on hollyperformance.com. Thank you so much. These are gonna go great in the car, and I'm so excited again to be partnered with Holly because they're gonna be a one-stop shop for everything that I'm gonna need on this Corvette build. But let's go ahead and get cracking. This will be fun to install. All right, so I know that before I go ahead and get started, I need to gap all of my spark plugs. There are a couple of different recommendations online. I know that GM recommends 0.5 and some of them recommend 0.4, 0.45. These are iridium spark plugs, so I'm just gonna gap them all to 0.45 and should be good. Oh my gosh, so I don't know what the previous owner did to this car, but it is so dirty, just with dust and grime. It's like, I just feel like I almost have to clean the engine bay of the car before I can even do my spark plugs. There we go. That's one dirty old ignition coil. Okay, so we got these are the smallest spark plug wires I've ever seen. After coming from working on Hondas and old 90s Hondas, these are fairly short spark plug wires. There's so much dirt in here. This is seriously gonna bother me so much that I'm gonna put all these new nice looking parts in and it's just dirt. One day I'm gonna have to take a whole day just to clean this engine bay. We get the first one out. Okay. Not too shabby looking anyway. Out with the old dirty spark plug wires and in with the new. Look at that new now. So fresh, so fine. So new. Awesome, so we went ahead and got the new coil packs, spark plug wires, and our new spark plugs. I would take it on a test drive right now, but last time I drove it just a couple of days ago, it did overheat. The throttle is sticking, so there are a couple things that I need to kind of look at before I go take it on another test run. I'm going to go ahead and order a thermostat and a couple of other basic cooling necessities, hoping that it's one of those things and an easy fix. But yeah, we have those in, they look great, and the C coil packs looking new. It does irk me that the engine bay is so dirty and that the ignition coils are spicy, new, and clean, but we'll save that for another day. Again, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up cleanup in the shop. Got a couple of things done on the Corvette, feeling great and very excited for this build. This is going to be so fun. I always love learning a new platform, a new chassis, and really kind of feeling it out and learning about the car as I build it. So that's gonna be super fun. Thank you so much for always supporting, being a part of my journey, and I hope that you guys are just as excited for the Corvette C5 drift build as I am. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.